The government is shut down. Is anyone out there? Is anyone still alive? Can anyone hear me? What are we going to do without the government?
It's the Doug Show. Doug Show. Doug Show. It's the Doug Show. Doug Show. Doug Show.
Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Part of why I'm happy is I'm not addicted to government. Not a big deal. This is a normal form of politics now, where our two parties shut down the government as part of their argument. That is, they put all these services that everyone pretends like we're addicted to and our life will end if we don't have it. And both parties said, shut it down. Good. Okay. I'm not scared. And you're all alive. The internet's still working. What's happening? I'm going to go over what the fallout from the government shutdown, which is entirely the Democrats' fault. But, you know, again, like I said, I don't even have to point a finger at them and try and make them out to be the bad guy, because I think this is normal politics. Yes, real people do suffer in real life every day. You and I, you know, someone out there, they're hearing both news that the shutdown is happening and they're getting news that they have stage 4 cancer. Which one bothers them more? Probably the stage 4 cancer. Someone just found out they lost a baby in pregnancy. You know, so life has this kind of normal amount of suffering, and then the government shutdown, which frankly, I think is not a big deal. We're going to get to Speaker Mike Johnson right now. Look at this new coat. Guys, I got this from American Tall, again, because I did that chapter ad read thing. I was able to buy some new clothes. This is my new piece. You guys loved my shirt I wore yesterday. I got only positive comments. Not one person said, Doug, you look like a terrible nerd from the late 70s. So I appreciate all of your kindness. I have way too positive of an audience, and you guys just really help soothe my soul. Here's Mike Johnson with a little more detail. This is right before the government shut down last night.
Chuck Schumer has refused to give the extra time. Why? Because we won't agree to restore health care to illegal aliens, because we won't agree to give $500 million back to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. He wants to cut the big fund of $50 billion that we set aside to support and prop up rural hospitals in America, because we won't agree to those partisan demands. And $1.5 trillion in new spending on a 7-week stopgap funding measure. He's decided to shut the government down.
Okay, this is the funniest part to me. It's a 7-week stopgap funding. It only funds the government for 7 weeks. That's a month and a half. All of this crying and hair tearing out is over just spending enough money to fund your government for 7 weeks, and then it's going to shut down again, okay? Because both parties, we're not going to come to a point of agreement. So the Democrats are going to once again go, we're not going to sign this thing unless you give the billions of dollars to PBS and the NPR, and unless you're willing to give healthcare to illegal aliens. 7 weeks is what everyone's crying about. It's going to happen again, okay? So I'm just saying it doesn't work on me. Whatever the Democrats are trying to do to demonize the Republicans and the government gets shut down, it does not work on the American patriots. This is why the Democrats are going to lose, because it's all their buddies that are not getting the funding. It's going to affect them far more than Republicans. I'm going to go to a guy. In fact, let me see if I can find this clip real quick of the guy. He's predicting the Democrats are going to fold. Check this guy out. This one I liked because we're going to start going into a new phase on this show of predicting who's going to fold first, okay? Place your bets, everybody.
And the Democrats are in a real box.
Who's to say they're going to work it out? Because it doesn't really sound like there's a desire to actually work anything out. They just want more time to do the job that they probably should have done,
eventually they have to
3 months ago.
But the Democrats here are in a box because they are the party disproportionately of government. Their constituencies disproportionately are going to be hurt by a shutdown.
These are Americans.
True.
They're barely Americans. Government workers, Democrat government workers, barely Americans. So these are Americans. You guys have heard me make fun of government workers before. Apologize. I have friends in the FBI. Apologies for people that are getting their money from the government right now. Some of us have to go out out and actually I start and run an independent business to pay for my family for 35 years on art. Go try to pay your bills on art. It's a tough job. I'd love to kick up to my government job, roll up to my government job where I'm out of the private sector. I don't have to weigh into a free market and compete and then get lifelong giant government retirement, the world's biggest benefits package. I just get to roll into a cubicle, do the minimum amount of work in my cubicle. No one even notices. There's no oversight. No one even notices if I do my job or not. They can't fire me. These are Americans. You know what's an American? Some guy who goes out and the guys that just mowed my lawn, those are Americans. Okay, they go home and they're covered in grit and sweat. Some guy that goes into a hole and pulls coal out of the ground is an American. I have a septic tank out front. Some guy, the redneck that comes in the thick rubber boots with poop all over him on his poop truck and puts a giant hose into my septic tank and sucks all of the poo and pee that's in that tank and puts it in his truck and drives it away. That guy is a real American, not the cubicle government worker.
Americans who live all over, they live in your state, they live all across the country.
This land was your land. This land is my land. It's all government workers in a cubicle.
Yeah, increasingly in red states, because the Trump administration has been moving them to places like Alabama and other parts of the country.
But I'll just make a prediction. The Democrats will fold before the Republicans.
Well, Democrats are...
There's the prediction. The Democrats will fold before the Republicans. Why? Because all of these government jobs, Trump's going to fire a ton of these Democrats, and they're far more involved in state work. Because it doesn't involve the free market. Democrats can't perform. The free market, remember in Ghostbusters? I've been in the free market. They expect results. They wanted to work for the university doing their Ghostbusters stuff because the free market expects results. That's not a government job.
They're great at folding, so yes. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
They're great at folding. Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to show, I'm going to do some marriage counseling now for Morning Joe. Morning Joe is going to scream and abuse his blonde wife, Mika Brzezinski, in front of all of us right now.
I also just don't understand why we're blaming the Democrats for Republicans lying. At the highest level of office, they have the biggest megaphone. They have TV networks that repeat the lies and say things on those networks.
Wait a minute. Republicans, we own the networks? 90% of them gave money to the Biden administration. There's been a tiny turn toward us in Twitter recently, but Google's still all Democrats. Facebook's all Democrats. ABC, NBC, CBS are all Democrats. The Fox Corporation are Democrats. It's just Fox News owned by the corporation, but every other affiliate, every other network, all of the executives, all of their legal team, their human development, all of their producers, directors, actors, cameramen, they're Democrats. So all these networks now that the right, Mika's going, she's on MSNBC. It's like the communist mothership. And she's going, all the Republicans that control media. Next, she's going to say we control all the universities too. Do we control all the universities, Mika?
With no consequence. And the things they say are violent.
Oh. Okay. Now we're violent, because we have so many of all those trans shooters that go into the churches and shoot little kids. Those are all MAGA Republicans. She's crazy. What we say is violent. By the way, you cannot speak violence. What I say is not violent. It may cause violence. I don't know. It may inspire people to be violent. It may be mean. What I say might be mean. What I say might be hateful. What they say is violent. That's quite a leap, Mika. If we're going to start impugning people's character and saying that they're actively violent based on what they say, once again, your party has a bigger problem than mine as far as if words are violence. Like dancing on Charlie Kirk's grave, thousands of nurses, teachers, people in government work, people even in the military. Is that not violent words if we're going to call something violent?
Okay, so they're not only repeating the lies, but adding to this coarseness. Yeah. And there's no consequence to it. And we're blaming the Democrats? Yeah. We're blaming the Democrats for this. What exactly are the Democrats supposed to do?
You keep repeating. They're supposed to fight back.
Yes.
I like how he interrupted his wife right there. This is a feminist, everybody. Joe Scarborough, feminist, just came in and drove a steamroller right right over his wife's monologue. She was on this big blonde feminist rant, Democrat rant. And here comes Joe. Shut up, you. I got something to say. Oh, he's yelling. They're supposed to fight.
Supposed to know. They're
And
supposed
lie
to
as
do
well? Like
they're
what exactly?
Why are we up here, Joe? Why are we way up here? Dude, you just came in a conversation with your wife. If I ever talked to the beloved Miss Tenaple that way, I think she'd curl up in a ball, then probably pack her bags and leave.
No. Bill Clinton just completely abused and used Republicans in every government shutdown. I know. I was there. He was smart enough politically.
I know. Hey, everybody shut up. I know. I was there. I want to start talking that way on this show. Guys, everybody shut up. I know. I was there. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe. You guys must have a blast on your date nights.
To do it. Barack Obama knew how to always get the best of Republicans.
Cross your arms more. Mika, look away. There's the passive aggressive. Those are not the arms that are going to embrace Joe Scarborough tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, someone's getting DoorDash for dinner. I don't know if Mika's ever cooked a meal for her family in the last 20 years, but there sure ain't going to be no cooking tonight.
All right. We're not blaming Democrats for Republicans' lies. We're saying that Democrats at some point have to figure out how to answer those lies. And that's not whining. The whining comes from Democratic leaders that still don't have an answer to Republican lies 10 years into Donald Trump's terms.
Jen, how do we answer the lies?
Jen,
Just don't understand.
Jen, yeah, throw it to Jen. I'm sure Jen will be a lot of help. I love it. The Democrats, what a giant pile of vomitrous chaos the Democrat Party is. We're going to check in a little more on the Democrat mothership. Here's more. Abby, we're going to go from MSNBC to CNN, ping-ponging. It's just too much entertainment, guys. I don't have to even work hard on this show. It's Hakeem Jeffries. Look at him. He looks sleepy.
What's the exit strategy here from a shutdown? Because once the government is shut down, which it will be in 2 hours, how do you get out of this?
Well, I hadn't thought of that. Hakeem Jeffries is going. She's going, what's the exit strategy? And Hakeem Jeffries going, well, what's an exit strategy? I didn't think 15 minutes ahead. I'm a Democrat.
There's one Democrat who told CNN there is no way to play this shutdown game and win. And Democrats know that because Republicans for the last several shutdowns have been the ones playing this game. So how are you going to get out of it if we are in a shutdown?
Again, correct me if I'm wrong in terms of the Republican.
I'll correct you if you're wrong. I'm correcting you now. Whatever he says is going to be wrong.
In perspective, but Republicans have been lecturing America all year that they control the government and that they're jamming their policy preferences down the throats of the American people. So how is it the case that at this particular moment in time, they're suddenly at the mercy of Democrats who are in the minority in the House or in the Senate when Donald Trump has consistently behaving like he's all powerful?
I don't know if that was an answer. I heard words come out of his mouth, but it didn't help. Thank you for the non-answer. I love Hakeem Jeffries. You do not get content when this guy's mouth opens and closes. I'll prove it here. Here's more from, we're going to go to CNBC.
You kind of danced around the illegal. You do want to provide health care to illegal immigrants that are here right now.
That's a Republican talking point, and it's shameful that you would continue. Of course not. I just said repeatedly that it is not.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody.
You kind of danced.
Yeah, there it was. We did Maxine Waters yesterday. Little summary there. She got in trouble because she revealed their plan. They're going, Maxine, what are you doing revealing that we're going to provide medical coverage for illegal aliens that are not supposed to be here? Hakeem Jeffries, how dare you? How dare you quote Maxine Waters, a fellow Democrat? Here's Stephen Miller. First shutdown in world history to demand free health care for illegal aliens. This is Alex Thompson of Axios. I love Alex Thompson. He got like the Pulitzer, the big, whatever they call their big award for journalism. He was the only Democrat that said Biden might have something wrong with him. Maybe we shouldn't run him. And they awarded him after every Democrat denied it. They awarded him the only award, going like, he's the only one that called it, guys. Here's Alex Thompson, tough polls for Democrats on a shutdown. Now, I want to tell you guys, first of all, I don't care about polls. I'm not saying they're not true. I'm saying we use polls when they agree with us, and when they disagree with us, we drop them. So don't lean too heavy into polls of everyone's on the Republican side and everyone's against the Democrats. Never brings me peace, because it's very possible that everyone can be wrong. That's not how you win an argument, but here's the New York Times Siena poll. Views on whether the Democrats should or should not shut down the government if their demands are not met. Here's all respondents. 27% say that they should shut down the government, and 65% say the Democrats should not shut down the government. They should not vote against it if their demands are not met. That's a terrible number when you're in the toy. This is the toilet. This is the Democrat position of saying we won't. If they don't meet our demands, we're going to shut down the government. There it is. Now you're going to see how far away Democrats are from the rest of reality, because these are basically 27% of us who are thinking like a Democrat. It's 47% of the Democrat Party. And by the way, even 43% of the Democrat Party say, don't shut it down. These must be all of the government workers in the Democrat Party going, hey, please don't fire me because we can't give illegals health care. Don't fire me. I'm a Democrat. I'm sitting here in the state, in my state job, in my cubicle, not doing a job, not exposing my work to merit or the free market. Here's Chuck Schumer on the floor. Crying Chuck Schumer says, this is going into that poll that I just now showed you. This is hilarious. It's a New York Times poll, and he's going to destroy the New York Times for us. I love when the Democrats destroy a Democrat newspaper.
Now, I know the leader is going to show a poll that says that Democrats will be blamed for the shutdown. There are many more polls that show Republicans are blamed. The question in that poll is bias. Biased in the New York Times, but it's biased. If you turn the
Those are Republicans laughing at him on the floor, going, the question is biased. The New York Times is biased. They caught him. Look at him. Whoops. Whoops, you got me. The mask slipped for a second when he calls out the New York Times. I'm just going to do that quote from now on. I'm going to write that in bronze. The New York Times is biased. Chuck Schumer. He hit the most powerful newspaper that has been covering for the Democrats for 40 years, and Chuck just threw them under a bus. And the Republicans just burst out laughing. He's smiling. Yeah, I know. I'm full of caca.
That's true. I don't always believe the New York Times.
I don't always believe the New York Times. Okay, so it's not the old gray lady. The old gray lady. Breaking news. The greatest newspaper institution in America, Chuck just said, I don't believe the New York Times. That's like a Christian saying, I don't believe the holy word of God. A Democrat not believing the New York Times is like a Christian burning a Bible.
You can be sure of that. Neither do you. Okay. Now,
very good. Okay. He's just saying, neither do you. You guys don't do it. You don't believe it either. Well, he's right about one thing. We only believe polls when they agree with us. And when they disagree with us, we call them biased. I do it all the time. I'm very suspect of myself. Maybe Chuck Schumer is on the same ethereal plane as me right now, saying the same thing. I don't believe it either. These polls are full of crap. It's just the New York Times. Now, here's Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen, the conservative pollster, Rasmussen. This is very interesting too, because the Democrats, they live in a land of chaos and caca, and they're not going to get anything from this shutdown.
This is basically the Democrats came in and they caused absolute chaos. I don't know if it's Project 2030. I don't know why they're doing it. They're putting Chuck Schumer in a very politically tenuous position right now because I think they want to shut down. I don't know what they think they're going to gain out of it other than sheer chaos. Americans want an end to chaos, and Donald Trump seems to be the only person breaking the sweat right now to give it an end to chaos to the American people. I like how Trump, being the candidate that is chaos incarnate, is now the only relief to chaos, because the Democrats are this is a single car accident. They did this to themselves, and they're just baffled. All these experts, Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen is going, what
are you doing? Like I said earlier, Hakeem Jeffries, they did not think 15 minutes into the future. They do not have an exit strategy. There is not a strategy involved with this. It's really the Democrats are in such the toilet that they have no other plan. They go, well, I guess we're going to shut the government down. We don't know what we're doing. Here's Rep. Catherine Clark. You know, when Democrats roll out the women and children thing, this is Mike Johnson posted this. Rep. Catherine Clark, remember, Democrats voted or did not vote to keep the government open. And now she's mad. She's going, the government isn't open. Women and children are going to be hurt. Well, who hurt the women and children? Why didn't you, a woman, and you're probably also a child, why didn't you vote to keep the government open?
And once again, it is women and families who are paying the heaviest price.
Oh, yeah, for what you voted for. It's women and families. I almost for a second thought that a Democrat cared about women and families. Sorry, guys, forgive me. I slipped for just a second. Here's AOC. What we really need is a wise sage, I thought, to end this episode. What we really need is deep wisdom. This is like opening up the book of Ecclesiastes. Solomon, the wisdom of Solomon. Please, Rep. Alexandria Ocasio, Occasional Cortex, Democrat, New York.
What I'm not going to do is tolerate 4 million uninsured Americans because Donald Trump decided one day that he wants to just make sure that kids are dying because they don't have access to insurance.
That's why I voted for him. Do you guys remember that when Trump ran on that he wanted to make sure that kids were dying? I remember that. Yeah, we ran on that. Every Republican, that's what we all want. Good one. Good one. This is an act of desperation from someone with a completely empty head. She might as well just say, oh, we are all out of ideas. She goes, I got it. Everyone, I got it. Trump wants kids to die from lack of access.
That's what's not going to happen. And so if those senators think
I got to give her a full screen because she's about to do the head wind. She's about to do the
that we're having a shutdown because of me, they're free to enter my office and negotiate, because what we're not going to do is allow all of millions of people in this country to not be able to afford their insulin and their chemotherapy. So come strike a deal with me if that's what they really think is going on.
But I'm with Trump in people not being able to get insulin and chemotherapy. What in the world are you proposing? What are you saying? She's going, because unlike you, some of us want people to get insulin and chemotherapy. Look at my face. I want you guys to look at my face. See this giant scar here? This is from when I had malignant melanoma, skin cancer on my face. They found it in my cheek. They said, Doug, if this thing has moved stage 4 and moved to other parts of your body, there's a slit here where they cut into my neck to check my lymph nodes to see if it moved to a major organ, brain, heart, liver, lungs. You have a 65% chance of living. Okay, when do I go to a doctor? Oh, this was back in 2021. They said, Doug, essential services of doctors, we are no longer allowing our medical establishment of cancer tests here in Tennessee to stay open because of COVID. That's her party did that shutdown. Joe Biden kept me. They said, we're going to have to delay this procedure. We don't know how long. It'll probably be 3 months, 4 months. I go, hey, I have a 65% chance of living. How about we get a doctor on this right now? Because the one thing that we know that will stop cancer is early prevention, earlier getting it, ripping this piece of my face out. They ripped it out. I got this cool, handsome scar. I look like Captain Ahab. All men who get facial scars when our face gets ruined, it looks awesome. It looks like I do manual labor for a living. It looks like I went out and chased a white whale and he might have won that fight, even though I sit here and click a mouse and make videos for you all day and spend very few calories and do almost nothing muscular with my entire life. It looks like I've been through a war. So I like the scar, don't get me wrong. But AOC does not care about people not getting chemotherapy treatment. No Democrat does. They shut down cancer research and they knew that they were killing more people by shutting it down, putting more people at risk and getting that early detection stuff shut down. More people were hurt from that than COVID. That's why I'm laughing at you guys floundering in this amazing government shutdown. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Doug in Exile. Do you dig my coat?